Today I'm celebrating the Global Day of Parents, which for some people may even be thought of as a despicable act. In fact, there's one man who I really used to love a lot who has, it seems, recently become somewhat of an antinatalist, someone who thinks it's absolutely wrong for people to have children and that it's a completely selfish act, especially given everything that's going on in the world, condemning somebody to have to live a lifetime incarnate in a flesh prison that's trapped on it's for me a very dark and nihilistic viewpoint, and yet it's not one that I disregard. I take it very seriously, and in fact I've become a parent 4 times over, and each time asked myself very, very seriously if I thought that it was the right thing to do. Because the world has its challenges and can be a very dark place. And yet, I myself, in fact, when I was younger, I remember hearing about the ancient Greeks and how when they had sickly children, for example, someone with asthma, they would take them up into the mountains and leave them there to perish. And I remember thinking as a child, oh my goodness, I wish I was in the time of the ancient Greeks, because I wouldn't be suffering asthma as I was at that time, having asthma attacks at night and, fear and stress and anxiety. And, at that time I really thought, I think my life would have been better had I not been here. And I think lots of people entertain that kind of idea at different points in their life. And there's no doubt that life is an extremely challenging journey. As M. Scott Peck says in The Road Less Travelled, life is difficult. It's one of the Buddha's immutable truths. I can't remember, they've got a special name for them. Life is difficult, life is challenging. And how challenging kind of depends on our attitude that we take towards it. Well, even though I'd gone through extremely dark periods in my life and had near-death experiences, some that were completely beautiful and some that were absolutely frightening, terrifying. And even with all of those experiences and having experienced homelessness and heartbreak and sadness, I am still extremely grateful to have been alive and feel that that's something worth sharing. That I've got something to share, because I can look down into a child's eyes and say, yes, I know, it's full on sometimes, but it's still an amazing thing to be alive. And it seems to me that that is nature's way, that all of the animals and insects procreate instinctually. And although we may have developed some perhaps slightly different form of self-consciousness as human beings, I certainly think we have no less reason to play our part in the cycles of nature and to be able to witness what it's like to be alive on this planet, with this sunshine, with this wind through the trees, with the feeling of the clothes upon my skin. It's like the sensual experience of being alive is, well, who knows if it's like anything else in the known. Well, it's certainly not like anything else in the known universe, although there may well be other experiences awaiting us in other realms, other dimensions, who knows. So for me, on this Global Day of Parenting, I wish to underline how much of a serious thing it is. I do feel concerned when I see people have children just because they think it's what they should do, or because they want to have that sense of status that comes from saying, oh, I'm a parent, or having something that you can dress up like a doll, or to match your favourite car, or to look good in the holiday photos. I think if that's the motivations, then there's definitely cause for concern. But if sharing this experience of being alive is at the heart of what motivates someone to have children, then surely that's a good thing. Now, today, there's not much veneration for the role of children. I just recently recorded a video about Children's Day as it's celebrated in the Maldives, and use that opportunity. And there's not that much recognition for parents either, and just how full on the task is. You know, it's not a task, it's a conscious choice. You know, I can think of childless friends I have that would say that parents are not worthy of any sympathy whatsoever. They make the choice, you've made your bed, you lie in it. Well, you know, let's face it, that this species wouldn't be here for anyone to say something like that had parents not taken that decision. And I think, like many things in life, if you stood around and thought about it for too long, it probably would never happen. And it's just like how people talk themselves out of starting a conversation with a friend or someone they're attracted to. If there's too much thought about something, it impedes the ability just to act. And the process of having children is absolutely brutal. You know, it will push one to the absolute limits, and it doesn't matter who you are, whether it's through, for the woman, the act of natural childbirth, or for the man, the act of losing his lover, the woman who looks at him with those eyes of "I love you more than anything in the world, I want you," and then to suddenly find himself in the shadow of the children. It's a significant thing. To the sleepless nights, the exhaustion, the constant need for money, the constant need for reassurance. It's an experience that pushes us beyond the limits of well, almost anything else this side of the grave. So for those parents that really are trying, I think a nod of respect and gratitude and appreciation would not go amiss. Of course, every year there's Mother's Day and Father's Day, so it's not like parents don't get their moments of recognition. And children probably merit many more than they get. But yes, these are my thoughts on parenting. I wish to join in the celebration of the Global Day of Parenting.